And we are live. It's Suzilla.
Hey, Susan, we're live and fortunate that we have it because our Wi-Fi's been twitchy. So Matt got creative and hooked it to his phone. So
Well, yeah, we are going through a big update here at Wenatchee Insurance on Mission Street.
yep,
And one of the things is we're updating our services.
yeah, we're doing an infrastructure update, making sure that we have a more secure system for storage and internet and all that kind of good stuff. And we got growing pains. Is what it boils down to.
Yeah, and anytime we do something big and over the top and moving forward, things break.
Sometimes, yes.
It's usually what happens.
Yeah.
And right now we're in the process of breaking and building,
Yeah.
which brings us to today's topic.
Okay, and that would be
Cheese Rave.
Cheese.
See, it's even fun to say. Cheese Rave.
Is that what it actually was called?
Or
is that just descriptive?
That is just the description of the combination of the electronic dance music with a fine pairing of cheeses.
Okay.
Done in a club setting. This is from 8:30 at night. You're strolling in underneath the cheese arches, and you have your fine selection while the DJ is spinning records all the way up to about 1 o'clock in the morning.
Music is paired specifically with certain cheeses.
I'm not exactly sure on how they do it. It's one of the Queer Eyes Queer Eye guys pulled that off, and it's one of the event groups. Let me bring it up. It is just a glorious.
Well, the thing is, weird pairings are a thing. Okay, weird is maybe not the right word there, but things that you wouldn't think that go together go together.
Yeah, it's Event Pride. No, not Event Pride.
That doesn't sound right.
It was Eventbrite.
Eventbrite is actually a ticket reservation site.
Yeah, and they've played with this. It's where the little elevator speeches where artisanal cheese tasting meets electronic dance music in a one-of-a-kind sensory adventure.
Sensory adventure. Okay. The pairing of the food pairing thing is not new.
Yeah, and they teamed up with culinary expert and television personality Antoni Porowski.
Wow.
Porowski. I haven't seen Queer Eye in years. But
I've done.
See, you haven't seen it in years.
No, we may have to watch it because it's the new generation is what you got there. So either way,
yeah, and this is the rise of blended experiences, and it's Eventbrite did a Fourth Spaces study and revealed that 95% of the 18 to 35-year-olds are increasingly craving experiences that bring their online interests into real life.
Okay.
And they found 79% are attracted to events that blend multiple interests into a one-of-a-kind social experiences.
Okay, I can see that. And then if it's unique, if it's one of a kind, if it's something fun and interesting, then you're also looking at, I guess you've got the whole Instagrammability.
Yeah, there's a certain level of that going on, but it's that fusion. I remember when we were playing around with the different formats.
Yeah.
In the 90s and early 2000s. And we would do, it's like, okay, yeah, you got, stage one, you've got, the guy spinning, and maybe stage two, you've got someone doing a painting or something wild like that. Mm-hmm. And you start to blend these things. So that's come back around because it's been about 20 years.
Did it ever really go away? Well, from a performance standpoint, it may have faded a bit, but I mean, the odd pairing has never been gone.
No, there's been tons of successful adventures in odd pairings. The classic, of course, is peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, you wouldn't think, but I guess I was kind of looking at some of the odd food pairings because I was kind of curious. And one of the things I ran across was someone made a peanut butter and tuna sandwich.
That's a tough one for me to get behind.
Yeah, I can't get my head around it either, but just that was one of the things that popped up. It's like, okay, people do. A lot of it is a combination of savory and sweet. The peanut butter, the fluffernutter sandwich, the peanut butter and the marshmallow fluff. Um, the peanut butter is actually a super common um,
Oh yeah,
element in odd pairing.
the cucumber salad, which
Yeah,
was hot last year.
yeah, with the cucumbers and chili crunch and peanut butter, and it kind of made a bootleg Thai pad Thai kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, and there's also restaurants that embrace this. We were watching a rerun of Psych yesterday, and they had a Seoul Thai food fusion place. It was Fat Fat Thai Jones. PHAT, Fat Thai, so it could be good with Pad Thai Jones. But when I was kind of looking for it, trying to get the name, it's like, okay, this is a thing. The soul food, Thai food fusion thing is a thing.
Well, it makes
it's a real thing.
Yeah, it makes things unique. You
Yes.
can't really have a chain. It's your one-offs. It's your little individual restaurants when you go down and what sets things apart.
That's entirely true because sometimes it does spiral out of control. Chicken and waffles.
Yeah, see, I haven't had a good chicken and waffles.
But it's still out there. It's still a weird fusion that got it turned up. It's turning up in chains. There's whole chains
of just chicken and waffles.
Probably yes, but there. I mean, it's more than just one-off restaurants. You see, it's not necessarily good chicken and waffles, but it does exist.
Yeah, but then you'd have to ask, who has got, whose chicken and waffles reign supreme.
Yeah.
And then you'd have a whole chicken and waffle contest.
Yes.
So
that's fine. Knock your socks off. Knock your chicken and waffle socks off. I can't get around it. My head doesn't get around that one.
Well, you don't like the maple.
I don't like maple. I'm also kind of I'm not a big. Yeah, I don't really care for maple. The maple syrup has never been a favorite of mine. It has its place at moments, but generally not my favorite. I'm not a huge savory sweet combo person, which there are points when it's fine, other points like no.
Yes, and you've been successfully dipping your toe into that pool more and more thanks to the use of spice and heat.
Heat definitely throws a monkey wrench into that theory.
And that's
because it helps. It modifies the flavors enough that it melds better. Also, over since I've started, since the last 20 years or so, I've gotten more adventurous with food just generally.
Yeah, but that's kind of one of the important concepts with a good fusion is you have something that you're able to kind of blend the two.
You got to bridge the gap.
You have to bridge.
Right, and with the chicken and waffles, I think it's the syrup.
Okay.
Because one of the things oh my gosh, I'm really aging myself here. When chicken McNuggets were introduced,
yes,
one of the dipping sauces was honey.
Okay.
And you can't get that anymore.
No, because they got rid of I think they got rid of the honey packets altogether.
Oh, they had little dipper cups.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, it was a really good combination. And you wouldn't think it was, but it was. But that could be the tie-in with the chicken and the chicken waffles if you use maple syrup, because if chicken and honey works, then maybe chicken and syrup works. And then you got the waffle.
Speaking of dipping sauce, this was one of the weird ones I came because I'm always looking for new and exciting ways to do promotions, and they had a dipping sauce holder for about $1.50.
That's not new.
that you put to your little vents, and you had little. I've
I've
never seen one
seen
before.
those. Yeah, you put it in your car.
Yeah, I saw that and I was just like, okay, that's kind of on the bizarre side.
Well, yeah, okay, that's if you're eating in your car a lot.
That you have a little dipping sauce tray.
Yeah, if you're wolfing nuggets in your car that much, you really need to assess your mental health.
Lifestyle choices.
Yeah, because usually if you're eating that kind of if you're eating enough nuggies in your car that you need a dipping sauce holder,
Mm-hmm.
are you actually flirting with flirting with an eating disorder because you're hiding your food consumption?
Would Mad Max have a dipping sauce tray?
No.
He's always on the road.
Yes, but he also
He has to eat on the run.
Yes, and there are no fast food restaurants.
What if there was in the wasteland?
Then it would be a wasteland. No, because there'd be food. One of the things about being a wasteland is there's no food, there's no fuel, and there's no water. It's a waste. Could be said about certain fast food restaurants.
See?
But no. I mean, what like lizard nuggets or something.
Well, they had rat burgers in Demolition Man.
Yeah, I was thinking about that this morning for some reason. Not the rat burgers, but Demolition Man.
Because Taco Bell won the war.
Won the war, yeah. No, I was thinking about it, Demolition Man, partly because I was wondering what was going on outside of San Angeles.
They never really got into
No,
that.
I've always wondered. So that's another.
And that's another one that brought out, fusion with the whole Dorito Loco thing.
Yeah, they did. And that's the whole Dorito. Yeah, the Dorito taco shells.
Yeah, and can you separate Baja Blast from Taco Bell? Those two products are like
they're very tied together.
They're very tied together.
Mm-hmm. Well, Baja Blast is just a drink, though.
There's a whole subculture about Baja Blast.
Is there?
I can get art for my walls about Baja Blast.
That's kind of sad. I don't know how to feel about that. Isn't it? I don't eat Taco Bell. It's just not good for my belly.
Yes, and our son
has embraced
the Taco Bell of the the late teens, early 20s lifestyle.
That's part of that age zone. I've eaten my share of Taco Bell, but not as much as a lot of people I know.
Yeah, and
that's fine. Uh-huh. Well, part of that went south when I had my gallbladder removed. It's like, forget that. It's like, nope. I'm gonna look at Taco Bell and explode. Things you don't need to know about.
No, you don't need to know that.
No.
And there was a point where we were, playing with a lot of, egg roll wraps and tortilla shells.
Yeah.
And we came up with that whole dessert.
Yeah. It was a coconut rice pudding, which was really delicious. And it had, I made egg rolls with it. It was a pineapple coconut rice pudding. Delicious rice pudding recipe. And I have the ingredients for that. I'm going to have to make it. Okay. I'll make it this weekend. And what it did is, and we wrapped it up in egg roll wrappers and fried them up, and they were a delicious dessert.
Yes, and we used that at it was a auction. We were auctioning off food.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that those food auctions, it's like, let's do a dessert auction. And so we okay, let's make these tiny, tasty pies so that it was easier to share.
Mm-hmm. Well, we did pies and we did the egg rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the egg rolls were a massive hit.
Oh yeah, because they were shareable, they were portable,
and they were delicious,
and they were just insanely delicious.
Yeah.
But it was that fusion concept that we were using to do it, and I want to say they went like twice as much as the pies.
Oh yeah, they were super. They hit hard on the bidding. Mm-hmm. They went real well.
And we play with this all the time in our regular business.
Yeah.
Of pairing things, and the industry term is bundling.
But they're not odd things. to nix? Because it's all insurance.
It's all insurance, and there are points where you start to bundle things. One of the things we could do more is lean into the ADT, because the alarm services does provide compensation for if we provide them a lead.
Yeah, but do we want to go there?
I don't think we want to go there.
No.
But there are when you start talking with different insurance groups, they offer these different incentives. One of their local ones famously like buys and sells gold and silver.
Well, okay, I don't know if the insurance company actually, whether the insurance.
No, but they
got
just
a guy in there.
Yeah, it's one of those ones. It's like okay, sure.
Okay, sure.
And as we start to change experiences, because if you have an office, you need to focus on what is the experience.
Uh-huh.
Do you want that cold corporate watered down feeling?
We have discussed this so many times,
and it's gonna come up over and over and over
well,
again.
I mean, all of our offices are very personalized.
Mm-hmm.
Matt's gone with this weird retro Asian thing going on. I haven't figured out. There doesn't seem to be a theme, but there kind of is a theme.
It hasn't matured yet.
He's doing little doodle things. These little like evil fingers. It's hilarious. But yeah, okay. So it has matured. He's got a little refrigerator. He's got a Japanese style tea set. He's got it's Japanese or is it Chinese?
It's actually Japanese.
It's a Japanese style tea set.
Oh no, actually,
the cup itself
it's Chinese.
It's Chinese, but the tea is Japanese.
Yeah,
and the tea pet is Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
Asian. It's a
blend.
It's a pan-Asian tea set. Let's put it that way.
Yes, and you cannot forget about my little stress ball with a steam ball.
He's got a steam bun. He's got a bow steam bun stress ball.
Yeah.
It's terrible. It just makes horrible noises. And he's got his hang in there baby kitten poster. And
that one's going to get replaced.
It is, but you're just going with something that's also thematic to the cat.
Uh-huh.
Go figure. There's all kinds of things. He's got Fallout bits and pieces.
Yeah. It's slowly starting to build.
And I'm still it's very eclectic, but I'm not seeing what ties it together yet.
Not yet.
No. He's got this sly look on his face.
It's going to be interesting.
Well, if you go to my office, you see brighter colors. I've got taxidermy butterflies. Mm-hmm. I've got a poster of braidwood butterflies behind my desk. I've got a photograph that's been zhuzhed up by Daniel T. Fleming, mm-hmm. one of my favorite artists, of Antelope Valley in Utah, that has those bright colors. And a painting by a friend of mine of a phoenix, and that's kind of my theme, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. Shayla is more rainbowy, queer friendly, I guess you could say.
There's a things. It's like I had to point out. It's like, yeah, even my little 509 on the door has got little stripes come out the side. Kind of lines up with what we got for an open sign because it's got lines on it. The coloration's different.
Yes,
but it's got that feel.
Well, the open sign that I chose for this office, I wanted to go with sort of an outdoorsy look. It's kind of a rusticy, woodeny kind of thing.
It's American modern.
Yes.
American modern is very classic to grab at because usually there's a fair amount of people that have a warm fuzzy feeling with it,
and it's popular. And we get warm fuzzies every time people walk into our office.
And one of the things about Fallout is it incorporates a lot of that American modern feel to it.
Yeah, it's got a very retro feel, in a rather dystopian kind of manner.
Well, and it's kind of it's a modern age storytelling
Absolutely.
used through comic books, and now we're seeing it on the small screen.
The funny thing is, you've never really played the video game, which is where this all launched from.
No, our son's played it a couple times. I've
But
hung out
you
with him.
never really have.
No, because it was one of those, it was single players at the time. And
I mean, you can.
I can. I probably will. It's a fun immersive experience, but I've been doing other immersive things.
Jeez.
Like building offices.
I'm having a good time with this.
So yeah, there is and that's on how that ties in. That American modern is the bridge.
Yeah.
And
for that, yeah.
And for that, and I've even got a rainbow magnet on my fridge, so I bridge across the hall. Now the bridge across the way for Susie's office is yet to arrive.
Okay.
Because I have not ordered it yet.
Okay.
And I'm doing it in pieces, but yeah, there will be a bridge, and she's just gonna give me the evilest side eye.
Probably. I'm thinking I might change my door hanger.
Oh, absolutely, go for it. It's one of those things.
Well, the reason I grabbed that is because I needed something pretty much right away, and it was inexpensive and would arrive quickly.
Yes, it was cheap.
You okay over there?
Yeah, I got hooked. There.
You're hooking.
Trying to scoot in, and I was like, nope.
That's not working.
It wasn't working. So there are ways to hook, and so having that bridge is kind of more. Now, the next thing that we really need to talk about is contrast.
Yes, because contrast in flavor, contrast in visual, contrast in sound, contrast in the combination.
So when you're building things, you have to have contrast, and it is incredibly important to have that stand out. One of the things that we saw in one of our neighborhood signs is they didn't have enough contrast in the color palette they chose.
Yeah, so it kind of just disappeared onto the building.
And it's like you have a pale green on a beige.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't see that. There's not enough contrast there.
Yeah, which was a shame. It wouldn't have taken much effort to do just a darker layer between the green and the beige, and it would have popped so good.
Well, you could have done that. You could have ran an outline.
Yeah, that would have worked too.
A dark brown outline if you want to stay with the natural tones. It didn't even
have to be a thick one. Just something to draw the eye as contrast. And that's not the direction they went. They were going for soft, welcoming, non-threatening, but unfortunately, they lost their brand clarity.
Yeah. And that's one of those things when you're doing any sort of fusion, any sort of visuals, you need a contrast to stand out. And you need that contrast to stand out when you build a business or an experience on why people should go to you.
Okay.
The stupidest thing, the stupidest contrast we got, we return phone calls. How many people have called and left messages like they've been abandoned at grade school by their parents?
Yeah.
I mean, it's this pleading of like, please call back, and it's like, it's this weird thing that you get after you've heard half a dozen calls. It's like, and then there's folks that is like, oh, I'm not gonna leave the message off
because they just don't give up. Well, and then there's you answered the phone.
Yes.
Sometimes I actually get a chance to pick up the phone.
So just being able to answer and return phone calls sets us apart.
Yeah. I'd still leave a message.
Always leave a message.
Yeah, always leave a message. We will get back to you. I know that there have been phone calls that have disappeared for one reason or another. For some reason, we didn't get to everybody, but it's easily 98%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel unhappy about my percentage on that one.
No, but that's one of those things that sets you apart. Once you start doing good customer service, it can set you apart quickly.
Yes. I don't know what that has to do with Fusion.
It's one of those bridge points.
Okay. Customer service is a bridge point?
It is a bridge point.
Okay. I'll have to take your word for it on that one.
It's one of those things that if you walk into a restaurant and you see something crazy on the menu, if the waiter talks up, hey, you got to try this. This is incredible. The salted caramel is amazing. And you're like, I've never had salted caramel before. But they talk it up and they zhuzh it up and they do their job as a waiter is presenting this new idea. You will get more people to try and enjoy that new idea because you've greased the skids for them.
You also have to believe what you're saying or be a really good actor.
Either one works.
Either one works.
And we've seen that, but that having that base of good customer service allows you to do fusion. It allows you to blend ideas. Hey, Apple was a good example of that. Hey, we're this creative genius of a company. You like our computers? They're amazing for graphics. And hey, you know what? Have our phone.
Yeah, that's true. And it worked.
It worked
Really well.
And
I sit here with my watch on my iPhone and
and that's one of those things. That was the bridge. It's like, hey, you know what? You can put genius in your hands.
Yeah, and you did, and they did, and it is. And other people have jumped on that bandwagon.
And they've tried so hard, but a lot of it is they attempt to do it with a set it and forget it method.
Yeah, yes, and others have succeeded. You look at like Samsung, and they're doing fine.
Yeah, they're doing okay.
You look at others, and they didn't do fine. You know, and it's you've got to really commit. You got to commit.
And that's another point. Is like
it's like was it the Zoom? That was the Microsoft variant response to the iPod.
Yeah, I think it was Zoom.
Yeah, and that's just like they just didn't commit to it.
No, they didn't. They couldn't go all in, or the CEO that they had, the VP they had in charge with it got sidestepped, and that's one of the big failings in a lot of business initiatives is they don't commit.
Yeah.
Or they see this initial lackluster result.
And they don't give it a minute to grow.
Or they don't understand the customer response.
That's actually probably more realistic.
And they don't know how to play with it or how to engage it.
That's probably really accurate.
And one of the more interesting ones, and this is a perfect place to end it, is the zombie chicken rider.
Okay.
In the Minecraft movie, there is a part where there's a zombie chicken rider.
Yeah, it's the chicken jockey.
The chicken jockey. And a fair amount of young men, young boys, absolutely freak out and go berserk when the chicken jockey jumps out.
Now that the grown-ups have started saying, "Stop it."
Yes. And at the same time, that first week it did $163 million. And a lot of it was those young men coming in with their friends to do the chicken jockey.
Yeah.
And have that experience.
Yep. It's the bad movie, theatrical experience. Although some people are really enjoying the movie.
Yeah, but that is the lesson is hey, if you're in charge of that experience, if you're in charge of it, there's a certain level of flow that you've got to incorporate and embrace.
Yep.
So yeah, go out there, blend your items.
Try something. Try a combination you've never tried before. Try pineapple on pizza.
Try pineapple on pizza.
There you go.
So hey, have a great week, and we will see you next week if we don't get stuck in a cheese rave.
Bye.
Bye.